Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my Daily Dose with Tim. Today is season 3, episode 25. Today, we're going to continue the conversation where we left off yesterday to really show you how you can actually speak to a deal that you have on the table so that you can actually raise funds for it. So I'm going to bring up the slide that we've been using here, just so that you can continue to kind of get on the same train here. If you remember, hang on, let me just bring it up so that you can all see it. So if you remember, this is a deal that our trainer and mentor Jeffrey Lee did just in 2022 here. And so again, the pictures will show you that this was what we call a cosmetic renovation, okay, and a cosmetic update. And so here are the numbers once again. You can see that at the end of the day, the total profit from this flip is $46,000. And again, the funny thing is, if you remember, the total cost to get into the deal is $779. Let's just say that if that is full cash. However, if you're not having that kind of money, which even if you did, as I mentioned before, educated investors will learn how to leverage debt to build more income streams and more wealth. And so in this particular case, we definitely want to leverage. And as a result, if you go back down, I'm just kind of rewalking you through the deal so that we can build some context and foundation, because as we're doing that, in a way, if you need to leverage OPM, other people's money, you are able to start to think about what kind of a money partner, the profile that you're looking for, okay? So again, literally by profile, let's go down here. And it's not one of those things, where you're profiling people. So you are just really painting that picture for yourself in terms of who you think would be the best partners. Because the funny thing about raising funds from a mindset and attitude standpoint for me, a lot of the times it has to do with people thinking, oh my God, I'm so scared. I don't want to go out and ask for money or even appear like I am begging for money. That's not what this is about. If you've been watching the previous few episodes, you understand that the mindset is very much the fact that you have taken real estate investing or learning how to invest in general seriously enough that you're investing in your education first and foremost. Remember, the most profitable income generating asset, the most profitable income generating asset that all of us have access to is the 6 inches between our ears, is ourself. It has nothing to do with any single asset class. And this is why from day one, I've been very clear with everybody about the fact that we're simply leveraging real estate as an asset class, okay? Way too many people just think that real estate is the asset. No, it's an asset class, and every piece of property that you acquire ideally is an asset based on the definition of asset versus liability, okay? However, at the end of the day, you are the most reliable asset that you will ever have in this lifetime. And this is why I always believe and follow what Warren Buffett says. The more you learn, the more you earn. Okay, and you gotta continue to invest in yourself, because investing in yourself pays the best dividends over time. And so with that said, coming back here now, you gotta remember, we always say that money will follow good deals. And the true question is, are you a good deal? Are you a good enough of a deal for people to want to invest? Because the numbers are numbers, great. They might feel safer about the fact that you're leveraging real estate, because at the end of the day, the property itself is what we call the collateral. You are the asset. You are the security blanket. Because if you decide for whatever reason that you're not able to, or you don't want to pay them back, again, I hope that that's not you, by the way, because that speaks to more about integrity and values than anything else. So coming back here though, you want to start to really think about the fact that what kind of people you want to work with. Because when you take yourself seriously enough when it comes to managing and growing other people's money for them, I always say that it's about sharing the wealth, and that is the mindset. Because a lot of you, have been exposed to my story, and I mean, there's always different layers of the stories. However, one in particular is the fact that before I decided to train myself, before I decided to embark on financial education, it was simply because of the fact that somebody took all my hard-earned dollars and ran away with it. And I never got to see a penny back. And that was when I really realized that at the end of the day, I am ultimately responsible for my own financial situation, the decisions that I make when it comes to my money and nobody else. Okay. So coming back here now, if we look at starting the 20% down payment mark again, you're looking at 144,000 right off the bat. You're kind of thinking, all right, who in my immediate circle of influence right now may have access to $144,000, okay, or can potentially have a portion of that and able to borrow some of that. And next is closing reno and holding of 59,000. So really, if you add it up, you're looking at for somebody who might actually have access to about $203,000 in this particular case, or at least the ability to gain access to. Okay, so that is the difference between having resources versus being resourceful. They're two very different things. Okay, being resourceful is way, way, way more crucial and way more important when it comes to building a long-term and sustainable career as a professional and educated investor. Okay, because again, it's okay if you don't have the resources. However, if and when you train yourself on how to become resourceful, then no deal is ever going to be too big or too small for you to do, because now you've developed the investor mindset. It's about how much you can make, not how much it's going to cost you at every turn, because you understand that by leveraging good debt, you are able to create good income, good profit, long-term wealth for not just you, but for also the people that you are helping out. Okay. And so coming back here in this particular deal, again, Jeffrey managed to negotiate for a 10% seller financing or vendor takeback. So really the cash outlay in the beginning to get into this deal to acquire the property gets cut down significantly. So really it's 131,000. So for me, let's just say that if I'm in Jeffrey's shoes today, and this is the deal that I have on the table, let's just say that I am talking to my cousin right now, and I already know that my cousin, his wife, one of them is a dentist, the other one is an office manager, and combined, they make decent income. And I have an idea that they might have the $131,000 ready to pull the trigger. And how do I know that? Simply because of the fact that we've already engaged in conversations. When I started learning about real estate investing professionally, I've already started chatting about it during family gatherings, whenever we get a chance to catch up. And they've also expressed interest because maybe, just maybe, they've already bought a couple of rental properties that they thought are income properties when they are really not. And so they are looking to actually partner up with somebody, number one, because they have very busy and demanding jobs, and they may have kids already that's taking their time away, so that in order for them to grow their portfolio, they've also been told by their banks or their mortgage broker that, all right, you got to start investing better, especially with real estate, because if you are in the negative with the other properties already, it's going to really erode your borrowing power very quickly, which means you're going to hit that ceiling, hit that cap of expanding your portfolio. And so in this particular case, they are looking to be slightly more passive, and they're also looking to really grow and make their money work harder for them. And so in this particular case, let's say I have this deal on the table and we've already been engaged in conversations. This is when I would actually bring it to them to make sure that I recap all the points that they have already brought up with me in terms of what their challenges are, what their current obstacles are, okay? And potentially I may have already even asked to see their financial statements or investment statements, because chances are these are the type of people that would also have their money into a retirement savings account or a plain savings account or a certificate of deposit for our American friends, or for Canadian, they're called GICs, and maybe stocks, maybe even mutual funds. And so with that said, the idea is when I actually first start the conversation, I will always ask them, hey, if you're okay with it, when we meet next week for coffee or for whatever, let's say if it's your family member, maybe they're coming over for dinner so that you can also have a business conversation afterwards, knowing full on that you are not surprising them with a business conversation. Okay. I am not a big fan of what's the word that I'm looking for right now? Not bombarding. However, again, it'll come to me. It'll come to me. Ambush. There we go. I'm not a big fan of ambushing people when it comes to having this kind of conversation. Be completely upfront, transparent, okay? Because you are effectively doing business. And if you make people feel like they've been ambushed or forced into a situation that they don't want to be, you're not exactly building that goodwill from day one. Okay. And we always say how you do anything is how you do everything. And really, right there, you might be potentially creating a roadblock or emotional roadblock for them, for the lack of better words, in terms of moving forward with you as a potential money partner or a JV partner, okay, a joint venture partner. So coming back here, we already know that this particular return, this particular deal has a return on investment of $46,000, and that works out to be 35.11%. Now, this will require a lot more detailed work between you and your mentor moving forward in terms of how you want to speak to it. However, I'll give you a quick example, okay? I'll give you a quick example. Let's just say that you are now presenting this particular opportunity and this deal in front of your cousins, and they say, you know what? Yeah, we would love to jump in on a deal with you. And they're going, however, you know what? Everything else that we have invested in is basically making about 5%, 6%. Some of them are actually not performing, and some of them really were in the negatives, and they finally bounced back in the last couple of years here. And so whatever the case may be, let's just say that you come in with a conversation. Okay, you know what? The reason why I want to do this, meaning I want to be an educated and professional real estate investor, is because I truly believe that I now have the power and the skills to help people around me and their money work harder for them. So overall, you're looking to improve people's financial situation. And so let's just say that you said, how about this, dear cousin? I will pay you 10% return. Now, I want to make that very clear. This is now in conversation mode, okay? If you're not licensed to sell to the public, you're not allowed to actually quote a rate, okay? And even in this particular case, you just want to be very, very clear about what it is that you are offering. However, for demonstration's sake right now, let's just say that 10%. 10% of what? Well, 10% of the $131,000 that they got to come up with. Okay. So is it 10% per deal, or is it 10% per annum? Let's just say that in the beginning, they're kind of wanting to compare apples to apples. If everything else that they've been doing is giving them 10% a year, you can say, okay, sorry, 5% a year, and now you're doubling that, and you can just go 10% per year. Then it basically means $131,000, okay, times 10%, which works out to be $13,100. That's really what they'll be getting. However, if you remember, this particular deal takes 3 months to go in and out. So when you divide it by 4, okay, 4, that number becomes 3,275. 3,275. So what that means is when you cash out from the deal, and you've made $46,000, you got to pay them 3,275. Okay. So what that means is you are now taking home $42,725. It's really interesting because so many people are going, ooh, borrowing at 10%, that's quite risky, isn't it? However, when we start to put things into perspective, I want you to think about what this means right now. Number one, you've satisfied what they're asking for. You've doubled what the rate of return for them in 3 short months. And you are now walking away with almost $43,000 in your pocket after 3 months. Do you think you want to do this again, first of all? Second of all, what do you think your cousin is going to say after they've got their payout? Keep the money. Let's do another deal together. That typically is how it happens. Frankly, though, educated and professional investors, we oftentimes have more funds than we have access to great deals these days. There's always money waiting for us, especially when you can build a good and reputable track record for yourself. And that's why we always say, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy and share the wealth. Can you imagine if you go to your cousin and go, hey, you know what? I know we said 10% per year. However, the deal went well, better than planned, and so really the overall profit is $46,000. I am going to split half of that with you. So all of a sudden, their 131,000 just turned into 131 plus 50% of the 46,000 in profit, which is 23,000. So they give you 131 and then you give back to them 154. What are they going to say? Let's do it again. Let's do more of these. And now the race is on. It is now up to us again to find good deals, okay, and structure them properly so that we can create the best deals possible to continue to work with our OPM that have trusted their money with us, okay? And so this is why I think I may have shared this already this season so far. However, I did share with other people that in my earlier days, I did give away the farm in the sense that I had deals where I would give away 80% of the profit. So let's just say that in this particular case, how will we look at that? Okay, we would look at it as in 46,000, okay, $46,000, 80% of that profit in this case would be 36,800. 36,800, okay? And so let's just assume that I never got a seller financing on this particular deal. So really, when I am actually talking to my potential money partners, they really have to come up with 203,000 as mentioned. So if the return is 36,800, that basically means 80% of the $46,000 in profit. Divided by 203,000, that means I'm promising an 18% cash on cash return to them. And so I will basically let them know, you know what? I mean, I understand I'm new to this. I don't exactly have a track record. However, here are the numbers. Here are my credentials. I've taken this class 2 times, 3 times with Trust Your Talent. I also got my mentor on speed dial to help me with this. And he's a local expert. He's been doing this for 5, 10, 20 years now at this point. And so you manage to get the deal funded and you're promising them a higher than normal return. And that's totally okay because now you know how the numbers work, okay? And so there are no right or wrong ways to do this. You gotta just keep the mindset of I am sharing the wealth and I'm going to build my track record while helping others' money work much, much harder for them. And so on that note, I'm hoping that you understand or you're starting to get a sense of how you can leverage the deal to speak to. And this is also why in the beginning, I also share this. Money will follow good deals. Now, on the deal perspective, this is definitely in all aspects a great deal. However, what makes it a phenomenal deal is you plus the deal itself, okay? You are the person that found the deal, that created the win-win situation, that structured this deal so that everybody can walk away better off financially. So really, you got to always remember at all turns, and that's why I think I've mentioned this already, is that these days I see the properties as the collateral. The people that are doing the deals or borrowing the money, they are still the ultimate asset that I'm investing in. And I am not going to invest in somebody that refuses to invest in themselves in the long term. And I sometimes, in my earlier days, I would usually say that uneducated money was the cheaper money. And over time, I've been proven how wrong I have been about that. Educated money is actually the cheaper money. Okay, so this is why we stress so much about being in a community where people share very similar core values, as well as training and thought process. Okay, so that in itself can enable you to run a lot faster and a lot longer. And at the end of the day, we are in it to play the long game. I cannot stress how many people that I've seen come and gone just in the last 13 years alone, just by calling themselves real estate investors. However, they're really just real estate buyers. They have never gotten the training. They have never managed to upgrade their mindset when it comes to money and the asset class that is real estate. And so again, sometimes greed would get the best of them. More often than not, market conditions and market changes would get the best of them, or knowing just one simple process that they will call a strategy like Burr got the best of them. And so I want you to really understand, I am 100% biased. I'm not even going to hide it. However, this is why it is so important for you to have the financial education as your foundation before you even choose an asset class and a vehicle, so that you are able to play the long game and really truly create the financial independence and the financial freedom that you're looking for. And that's really my personal goal for everybody. So again, I don't want to get overly philosophical at this point. This is episode 25 and we're on a Friday for most of you. I know for my friends in Australia, you're pretty much the next day already. So you're on a Saturday and you're usually not watching it live anyway. So on that note, I just want to say, hopefully you've enjoyed this little episode. And I know there are questions from the previous couple of episodes. So I'm hoping that by giving you this example in this episode, it helped you connect the dots a little better. However, if you still have more questions, feel free to comment, feel free to DM me. Make sure you like the content and share it with anybody that you think can benefit from it. So on that note, have a great rest of the day and enjoy your weekend. I will be back here starting next Monday with a brand new episode. Live well, everybody.